Good morning, all my earthling friends. How are you? It's bright and sunny here today. It's nice to see the blue sky. The bird has heard my voice, so he knows I'm here and not with him. I'm not happy with that. So hopefully he settles down, but if not, we'll just pretend it sounds as nice as Robin's. So good morning, everybody. I'm not sure if we've got anybody here with us today. Let's check and see if I've got any friends on with me yet. We'll give everybody a couple of minutes. I started just a minute or two later than I usually do, mainly because I was having a little technical difficulty, but that's okay. It is all resolved. We have been working on calibrating our chakra system. We're using the major 7 chakras as we go through this week, going from root all the way to crown. We have gone through the root, we've gone through sacral, we've gone through solar plexus and heart yesterday. Today we are going to be working on throat chakra. Throat chakra is lovely because it is all about communication, interaction. It is about how we interpret the things that are being brought in to our hearing and to our perception, as well as how things are put out into the world, and maybe the filters we're putting them through, or the misconceptions we have about the receivers themselves, and again, how they're going to be picked up. Are they going to be interpreted through any of their own filtering? So humans are complicated creatures. It's not quite as simple as passing information from one to the other. It's all about interpretation as well. And our interpretations are based on our belief systems, our memories, our insecurities. So we really don't hear things as honestly as they are. And even if someone is not outputting information as honestly as they possibly could because of their own issues, we're still not even taking it in with the intention that it was fully put out with. So we have some work to do there. I think all of us do. I'm sure there are relationships in your life where there are certain people who you just anticipate you're going to get in an argument with, or who are just not going to understand you or support you. Or maybe there are people who you will give more credit to, and you will overlook certain things that they say because of love, or because you just really want them to be kind to you. So I think we all do this. And I think if you really take a look at each of your relationships, you'll start to see where these little bits of filtering come in, where we start to extract information that is not there, or we start putting some in that was not intended to be. Also, your throat chakra is about your self-communication, your self-talk. That little narrative that goes on in your head as well is just, kind of the daily uptake of your life and how you are responding to it. Some of us come from kind of a narrow perspective. Some of us come from a very wide perspective and being able to see the world in the big picture. Some of us are coming at it from a place of insecurity, or some of us from a lot of confidence. And how we perceive our world, how we communicate with our world, and how we communicate with ourselves is going to be based on those things, on those perceptions, that point of view, that mindset, as well as, like I said, that pre-programmed you, that subconscious mind that's been picking up information since you were born, mostly until the time you were 7. We're like little sponges then, and we take in a lot of encoded information, and we pretty much govern our entire lives based on that information, the information from birth to 7. Yes, we still pick up more afterward, but not nearly to the extent we did when we were younger. So really, overall, at this point in your life, you are letting, child you govern in the background. And as absolutely adorable as that child was, I'm sure they weren't equipped to be leading an adult life. And that's basically what's happening now. We are leading adult lives based on what this child knew, what this child felt, and we are communicating with others through that filter as well. So throat chakra is an important one, especially when you consider we have now aligned and calibrated the energy within our root. We've gotten to understand ourselves. We have, hi Ruth, hi Lana. We have found our sense of security and our place on the planet, and found out that we really do belong here, and it's our birthright to be safe and healthy here and have the abundance and resources that we require. That's our birthright. So we are feeling sturdy and firm in that now. And then we went and found ourselves. We found our throne room. We found the control that we needed in our lives. We found our confidence. We found how to navigate through it using our emotions and steer ourselves toward our own desires and not put everyone else first, or not at least put everyone else's judgment and expectation about us first, but to put our own above all else for our own lives. We also learned that we have this beautiful stream of creative willpower energy right at the very center of our being to push us through and keep us going toward those dreams and toward that sense of self, and be true to it and not be, hit by setback after setback. We will still get up, we still will rise, because we have that beautiful solar plexus light shining on. We also have that beautiful heart chakra that we opened yesterday. We will bring that sense of self into love and appreciation and gratitude, and we will spread that into the world, and we will really learn to appreciate who we are and what we bring to the table. We will learn to love our environment. We have learned to really accept and appreciate all that is there and the benefits that are behind all of our past experiences. So we are in a very powerful position right now. Now that we have done all of that work, we can actually communicate all of that to others. We can share it. We can have others expand into our own experience. We can offer our knowledge. We can offer our desires, our needs in a really loving, compassionate way for both others and ourselves. We have opened ourselves up to this ability now. So now is the time to really release anything that is coloring your worldview, that is coloring your relationship view. It's basically just taking all the blinders off of the third eye. And I know that sounds a little bit odd, because you would think the throat chakra and the third eye are not really connected, but they are. They feed into one another, all of your energies. And they just build a foundation for the next. So as we're opening up our throat chakra and we're allowing ourselves to fully communicate with our most basic and pure intentions, we are also putting it out into the world in a more pure state, so it will be received in a more pure state. And once we're able to do that, everything else in our relationships just kind of starts to mesh. There's a little more synchronicity happening between people when we can take out all of that, that filtering, that covering, that guarding, and that expectation. There's a lot of times that we don't give people the credit they're due based on our own belief systems. There are people who we think are really going to be judgmental with us if we told them the truth about what was going on with us or what we needed. And in all fairness, we don't know that for certain. And we probably haven't even given them the opportunity, at least not for a very long time, to show us their true colors. And you know what? Honestly, if it is there, if they really are going to be that judgmental, if they really are going to give you a hard time, or if they really are going to limit you based on your truth, should you not be aware of that now? And is that not something that you should be working around? Is that somebody that you want to have in your life in that position that you are currently putting them in? Do you want to give them the kind of power over you that they have currently? So it's sometimes a little scary when you open up your throat chakra, because there are things that you now have to deal with. Oh, I was trying to avoid that all this time. But you are equipped to handle those things now. because we have done the work for the previous chakras. You're equipped for it. You're ready. It is time. It is time to stop having the arguments. It's time to stop hiding things from yourself. Here, we open up our truth, and we allow other people to show us their truth. And we will not be judging them as harshly because we've done all of this beautiful work. And we know that we can always muster up a little more heart energy, a little more compassion and love for other people. We've got a cat fight starting in the other room. But once we have done that, and we're able to allow some compassion in for other people as well, and to come at things with that love, we can shine a little more love light on that beautiful throat chakra, give it a boost. It's a lot easier to deal with those issues that we've had in the past that we've kind of been shutting down our throat chakra to hide from, and sheltering ourselves from. And we did it from, a sense of self-love, really. It was a coping mechanism, and that's a beautiful thing. It means we were trying to cope, and we wanted to protect ourselves, and we wanted to make things easier, and that is amazing. Way to go, you, for being nice to yourself. But now there's a better way. That one wasn't having all of the payoffs that it was intended when those coping mechanisms were set in place, and that's okay. When we know better, we do better, and so that's what we're doing now. We are going to do better. So we are going to tap into our beautiful throat chakra. So that's that beautiful orb of energy right here at the very base of your throat. You're going to find it in shades of blues and indigos. You are going to find it in shades anywhere from turquoise to lavenders. Whatever you find is right for you, because this is your energy and you can have it be whatever you want. There are choices and you get to make them. Yay! So whatever you see there is right for you, and you can change that up anytime you want to. There are no rules for that. If you want to keep it blocked, that is your choice as well, because you are an individual and you are a divine creator being who gets to make these choices for yourself. No one else knows you as well as you do, and you get to make your own decisions in life. That can be really scary too, because sometimes we don't trust ourselves to make those decisions, but now we do, because we've opened up that sacral chakra. So I know that you will make the right decisions for you right now, and you know it too in your heart of hearts and your sacrals of sacrals. So as we, Susan's laughing at me. Is that for the bird or the cat? We are going to do a little energy meditation to tap into that beautiful throat chakra. We are going to allow it to open up a little bit of the energy toward what other people are trying to communicate to us and what we are putting out into the world. We're going to try to put out our truth into a really pure state and hold fast to it. We're also going to work a little bit on our self-talk and how we're communicating with ourselves. We're going to try to tweak that perspective that we are communicating with ourselves, especially with, because once we do that, we change everything else. If we can come at our daily life from a narrative of everything is going to be okay and I've got this, then guess what happens? Everything you put out into the world, every thought, every action that you have is going to be based on that. Every emotion is going to be based on that. So that's going to have a ripple effect out into that beautiful 0-point field. And all those lovely little quanta are going to then be moved into a state of materialism that's a little more satisfying to you. And that's the main thing. Once you start seeing all of this work start coming back to you in a more positive form through feedback from your environment and the universe, it's really gratifying. And you know for certain that you have hit on something that really works and hit on something that's honest and true and real. And that's the part that I like best. It's seeing the evidence of it come into your daily life. That's really satisfying and really invigorating. It kind of spurs you on. It's a lovely momentum that it takes on, and then you're able to do it a little more naturally. Over time, it stops being something that you sit down and do when you practice, and you build neural pathways as you practice. So eventually, your mind just starts going there. And as you're getting more and more of that positive feedback from your environment and your universe, then it's so much easier, because I mean, we all thrive on positive feedback, don't we? That's That's just how we're designed, how we're wired. So it's a beautiful thing. And then it just all starts to just ramp up amp up, pardon me. Sure, it can ramp. I don't know. But once it starts to amp up and you start to really feel that momentum of that energy, it starts to spark things in you, and you'll release more and more and more as you go. So I invite you to, as you're starting to see this positive feedback, and I usually find if I've made like a really big shift in a belief system or a memory, that sort of thing, in the way I am interpreting the world, if I've made a big shift, I can usually start to see evidence, well, sometimes immediately. But usually there's like a 3-day rule for me, and it's gonna be different for you. But for me, it's a 3-day rule. I can pretty much guarantee that whatever I was feeling 3 days ago, I'm gonna start to see evidence of now. So if I'm having a cruddy day today and I'm cranky and I'm, kicking shoes out of my way or whatever it might be, then I'm going to have kind of a nasty day 3 days ahead. So start to take a look at this patterning. Start to be aware of the signs that are coming up and the synchronicities. Sometimes they first come up as coincidences, and we always like to kind of just say, oh, wasn't that funny? Wasn't that a cute coincidence? But there really are no coincidences. It's all in what you are putting out into the world, and that's drawing back to you. I know we've all had these things come up in our lives where we have really put out a certain emotion or a certain desire, a certain thought, and then it comes back to you and you say, oh, isn't that funny? We can see it in, I'm sure you've been, thinking about an old song, you're humming it, and then 2 or 3 days later, you hear it in a store or it's in a movie that you're watching. Or you're thinking about a certain person that you haven't seen in a long time, and lo and behold, there they are down the street. Or you're going to pick up the phone to call your mom, and she's already on the line. How many times has that happened? Probably a million times. And it seems like moms are great for that kind of connection. We're very, very connected to parents, especially. So you're probably going to find a little more synchronicity with them, especially with mothers. For some reason, we're very, very tied with moms. Mother energy. But once you start to look at these things and you stop filtering them through that belief system that everything is random and there are no coincidences, you will start to see that this is all what you have put a fishing line out for. I put this thought out, and lo and behold, there's a fish on the end. That's what I was digging for. So start to look for those sorts of things. Start to look for those sorts of changes, especially in relationships and communication when we're working on the throat chakra. It's kind of fun to watch what happens in relationships, and things change, dynamics change, all for the better, and you can let go of some of the guardedness that you had before. You are allowed to move into new areas of relationships. It's really beautiful once you work with the throat chakra. So now that we've got a few people on and I think we are ready to go, anybody have any questions for me or anything they'd like to go over or touch on with the throat chakra before we slip into our NLP meditation? We can answer some questions or go over personal scenarios, things like that if you prefer. Totally up to you. This is a safe space, so feel free. Gonna take a sip of water. Okay, so we have a chance now to bring up all of that energy. We're going to just utilize what we already have in place. And we're going to start with some deep breathing and just remember the work that we've already done. Remember the power that is already within you as we're breathing. And as you're breathing, you're going to draw up that energy all the way from the root, from Mother Earth's core, into you. Make sure those beautiful chakras are fully functioning and awake and alert and ready to do a good job for you. Inhaling and exhaling any tension that may be there, any resistance that may be there. Inhaling and holding, and releasing. And just finding your own natural flow to the breath, paying attention to your body, releasing any tension as you go. Notice that beautiful release of tension is followed by this flood of soft, comfortable energy. Flows down from the very top of your head, cascading down over the forehead and ears, over your eyes and cheeks, releasing the jaw, softening neck, throat, relaxing the shoulders and letting them just settle in. Moving down your arms and releasing the fingers, softening chest, sliding open those shoulder blades, down into the core, releasing the small of your back and softening the tummy. Releasing the hips, flowing down through the thighs. Unlocking the knees, softening the calves. Past the ankles and into your waiting feet. Feeling a tingle of circulation in your toes. Beautiful, warm energy, like a soft caress. In your mind's eye, you may see colors and shapes shifting and moving. No need to make sense of them, you will simply watch them shift and move. And bring your awareness now to the very base of your throat. And here you will find a beautiful orb of energy in shades from turquoise to indigos, lovely shades of blue. Take note now of its color, its shape, its hue. Its brightness, its temperature. Its spin, its speed, its texture. Play with and adjust this energy as you see fit. This energy is yours and it is perfect for you. And as what is perfect for you shifts, this beautiful energy will shift with it. Here in your throat chakra, you are bound to sound. This is truth and is blocked by denial. and the lies we tell ourselves. What about your own nature are you denying? What aspect of yourself do you have a hard time accepting? What about it is unacceptable? Does it not meet your own expectations and guidelines? Do you fear it does not meet society's or a loved one's? How has denying this limited you? Would you find this aspect so important if you found it out about someone else? If you found out someone else was hiding it about themselves? Would you accept it in another? See yourself looking back in your mind's eye to a time or situation where you denied this aspect of yourself, where you hid it. Can you see the discomfort? Can you remember that feeling? Now go and stand before this version of you from the past as a wise friend. What would you tell this version of yourself to help them accept their truth? Tell them about how freeing it will be to accept it and be able to move on. Tell them how it's okay to accept their true selves, and that their true self is a beautiful, unique, divine creature. Tell them how wonderful they are, even with this new truth that they've kept hidden, exposed. Tell them about all the millions of people in the world who will be accepting it, and how they can grow it into something they can be proud of. Now, take a look into your daily life and into your relationships. Who do you find you have the most miscommunication with? Who do you find yourself hiding your truth from? Who do you find yourself guarding yourself from? Who do you find yourself judging and wanting to change? Here we will find memories, beliefs, and expectations. And whether they are coming from an outward source or from within and being projected outward doesn't matter. They are a line of connection from ourselves to others, and they need to be cut. When these are in place, they muffle the truth, both incoming and outgoing. They alter our perceptions, our translations, and our awareness, taking them from a pure state of intention to one that is misguided and impure. As all things are energy, and our voice and our hearing are based on vibrational energy being transmitted and received, we know that these blockages to our truth are vibrational themselves. We will simply alter their pattern. Changing them back to their pure, intentional state. Releasing anything there that keeps us from knowing and hearing full truth and expressing ourselves in the most divine fashion. With a nice inhale in, we will release it with a hum. The hum of divine energy, dissolving all blockages and making our communication pure as source energy designed. Inhale in, bringing up your energy, and exhale with a hum. Again. Repeat this as often as you need, going through each relationship, belief system, scenario as you go, feeling that pure hum, vibration become cleaner and clearer, crisper as you go. Unblocking the ears, unblocking the throat, releasing all filters. They are not needed. Your pure divine energy is there to take in this information and do with it whatever is best for you. We don't need all these artificial filters anymore. Do this a few more times until you're feeling pure vibrational energy moving through you, and then like an echo returning back. Now, the next few times we move through our hum, let's increase that beautiful vibrational energy, picturing it as a large blue light emanating with sound waves all through our body. Moving out past our physical being, out past our home, bringing it out, out, out with each hum. Until we envelop the entire world in a big, beautiful haze of blue, pure communication. Communication based on security, self-awareness and confidence, creativity and willpower, love, gratitude, and appreciation, and a pureness of intent. Bring your awareness back into that beautiful throat chakra, taking a look at how it's changed with the work you've done and blockages you've released. making any adjustments you see fit, bringing it into alignment with all your other chakras and their energy, allowing them to mix and mingle, to communicate and cooperate and complement one another. And when you're feeling fully in line with your new powers, bring your awareness back out into the world with a little wiggle of the toes, a little shimmy of the shoulders, movement of the neck. And open your eyes, ready to meet the next level of your awareness. And how does that feel? The throat chakra is one that you can check in with often. I find as we're communicating with people, different people, or people we haven't with for a while, or dealt with topics we haven't for a bit with certain people, we can check in with that throat chakra, and you can always hum out that beautiful divine energy back into its purest form, releasing any blockages, resistance, memories, or programming that might be there. It's inhibiting the truth from fully settling in. You may find a shift in your relationships, shifts for the better, a new awareness, fully understanding people's intentions with what they speak rather than filtering them through your own belief systems. That's a beautiful thing to find. And finding that your own truths are being heard more intently, with more compassion and acceptance, because we haven't filtered them through an idea that they will not be received properly, that they will not be accepted. And when we're all able to communicate in this way, we can assist each other and support each other and allow each other to be in really beautiful ways. Does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to share about their meditation or their throat chakra or relationships and communicating with each other? Vanna says that was lovely, so liberating, learning to see one's truth. Yeah, it's interesting how we have been working on this programming for so long and operating under it for so long that sometimes we forget that we are doing that to ourselves. We are limiting ourselves, and we are putting up these blocks and blinders for other people because we don't feel secure, and we feel like we know how they're going to react. And sometimes we are not being fair, and we're not being fair to ourselves either, because if we're not putting out the truth, how are we going to expect someone to accept our truth? It's this lovely little tightrope we walk sometimes when we're putting up these blockages, and it's done mainly subconsciously. And like I said, they've probably been in there since you were a child, and these beliefs that we operate under, whether it's that people will judge me if I talk about a certain thing, or if I am going to show them that I am like this. And we find that once we take down that wall, that there really are a lot more people out there like us, or who are willing to be open to that aspect of ourselves and not want to judge. Susan says her native card was Spirit of Water. This fits right in, Spirit of Water. That beautiful free flow. And we are so interconnected with all the aspects of our world, with the earth, with the water, with the air, with sound vibration. We are all of those things. We literally are those things. And when we can really harness the power behind them, we can do great things in our lives. And we can assist others in doing great things for them too. And I think that's what we all want. We all want to take off the shackles, take off, all that heavy weight of the limiting beliefs, and we want to start living in a new way. We want to start being a little more open, a little more free, a little more accepting, a little more compassionate, and then have all of those brought back to us, like that sound echo. So as we let go of these things for ourselves and for others, they in turn will do that for us. And we will see the evidence of that. So I invite you over the next few days to see the evidence of it coming back into your world and your relationship, your chats with others, and even your self-talk. And join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Tomorrow we're going to move up just a little higher into that third eye chakra. Once we're communicating openly and we're accepting truths, we can then accept all the evidence of it in that beautiful third eye and get any of the signs and information we require. When we're willing to speak the truth and accept the truth will be allowed in. I hope you guys enjoyed this meditation and this work today. I know I did, and I'm sure the world will reap so many rewards from it. So thank you very much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Love you. Namaste.